Institutional Case Study, Virginia Tech, by Dave DeBelka. Virginia Polytechnic Institute and State University, which I refer to as Virginia Tech from here on out. Virginia Tech is located in Blacksburg, Virginia. It has 80 bachelor's degree programs through its 7 undergraduate academic colleges. Those colleges are Agriculture and Life Sciences, Architecture and Urban Studies, Engineering, Liberal Arts and Human Sciences, Natural Resources and Environment, the Pamplin College of Business and Science. On the postgraduate level, the university offers approximately 160 master's and doctoral degrees through the graduate school and a professional degree from the Virginia-Maryland College of Veterinary Medicine. There are also research institutions located at the university as well. Founding and mission. Founded in 1872, Virginia Tech has approximately 135 campus buildings, a 2,600-acre main campus, off-campus educational facilities in 6 regions, a study abroad site in Switzerland, and a 1,800-acre agriculture research farm near the main campus. The campus proper is located in the town of Blacksburg in Montgomery County in the New River Valley and is 38 miles southwest of Roanoke, Virginia. Dedicated to its motto, Ut Prosim, that I may serve, Virginia Tech takes a hands-on, engaging approach to education, preparing scholars to be leaders in their fields and communities. As the Commonwealth's most comprehensive university and its leading research institution, Virginia Tech offers more than 240 undergraduate and graduate degree programs to 31,000 students and manages a research portfolio of $494 million. The university fulfills its land-grant mission of transforming knowledge to practice through technological leadership and by fueling economic growth and job creation locally, regionally, and across Virginia. The mission statement states that Virginia Polytechnic Institute and State University is a public land-grant university serving the Commonwealth of Virginia, the nation, and the world community. The discovery and dissemination of new knowledge are central to its mission. Through its focus on teaching and learning, research and discovery, and outreach and engagement, the university creates, conveys, and applies knowledge to expand personal growth and opportunity, advance social and community development, and foster economic competitiveness and improve the quality of life. Current information. In 2014, total enrollment, both on and off campus, for Virginia Tech was 31,205 students. For full-time instructional faculty, 1,422 were employed by the university, and of those, 61% are tenured. There are more than 238,000 living alumni from every state in more than 100 countries. The university is controlled by a board of visitors. There are 13 members who are appointed by the Governor of Virginia. The presidents of the Faculty Senate and the Staff Senate are also non-voting representatives of this board. Each year, an undergraduate student and a graduate student are also selected to serve as a non-voting member of the board as well. The major event, April 16th, 2007. This is a disclaimer. The major event in this case study will deal with a subject matter that may be uncomfortable for some of you who are watching this. Viewer discretion is advised. On April 16th, 2007, Virginia Tech became yet another institution to see violence plague its campus. On this date, a disturbed young man murdered 32 students and faculty members, wounded many others, and then killed himself. This type of incident had happened before, but the death toll was high and carnage was horrible. The words of Columbine and Virginia Tech would now be forever used together. So would the name Cho and Virginia Tech. This major event brought attention to the school, but not in the way they would have hoped for. This case study is not about the person, but about the institution. Start of something awful. There were 2 locations of murders that day. The first being West Ambler Johnson Residence Hall, WAJ. Sometime after 07:15 hours on April 16, 2007, Virginia Tech student with the last name of Cho shot and killed Ryan Clark and Emily Hilscher in a dorm room in West Ambler Johnson Residence Hall. Virginia Tech PD, VTPD, and Blacksburg Police Department officers performed a death investigation at WAJ. The officers started their investigation by looking into Emily Hilscher's boyfriend, and that is who their initial person of interest became in this case. The mass shootings at Virginia Tech report found that it was reasonable, albeit wrong, that the VTPD thought this double murder was most likely the result of a domestic argument. Given the facts that they had initially, including the knowledge that the last person known to have been with Emily was her boyfriend. He also owned a gun, and he cared greatly for her. According to police interviews, the fact that she was shot with a young man in her room, under the circumstances found, made them focus on Emily's boyfriend. University response. Once informed, the president of the university convened the emergency policy group to decide how to respond to this incident. The group was initially told by police that they were investigating a possible murder-suicide, and then a possible domestic dispute, and then finally that the police had identified a suspect. The police told the group that after checking the parking areas on campus, the suspect probably had left the area. The police also did not tell the policy group that one of the factors in their minds was the experience they had the previous August when a convict named William Morva escaped from a nearby prison and killed a law enforcement officer and a guard at a local hospital. At the time, police reported he might be on the Virginia Tech campus, and the campus administration issued an alert that a murder was on the loose in the vicinity of the campus. This alert that they issued previously caused widespread panic and false reports of the convict being on campus. The escapee was eventually located off campus, but this incident was still fresh in the minds of the policy group on whether or not to report that there was a homicide at WAJ Residence Hall. In the eyes of the group, including the university president, a dangerous situation had been created by their warning in that August 2006 incident. The policy group did not want to cause a repeat of that situation if the police had a suspect and he was thought to be off campus. Notifying the university. Even with the police conveying the impression to campus authorities that the suspect of the dorm killings had probably left campus, and with the past history of the panic caused by the escaped suspect 9 months earlier, the university policy group still made a questionable decision when they sent out a carefully worded alert approximately 2 hours after the event. The massacre. While all these other issues were going on, a little after 0940 hours, Cho chain-locked the entrance doors to Norris Hall, which was an academic building on the Virginia Tech campus. He put a note of a bomb threat inside one of the doors that he chained. He then walked to the second floor and poked his head into some of the classrooms. At this point, he went from classroom to classroom and fired a weapon indiscriminately at anyone he saw. The massacre lasted for approximately 10 to 12 minutes, and when it was all said and done, he murdered 25 students and 5 faculty members of Virginia Tech at Norris Hall. Another 17 were shot and survived, and 6 were injured when they jumped from classroom windows to escape. Cho shot at least 174 bullets from 2 different guns. The police found 17 empty magazines, each capable of holding 10 to 15 bullets. They also recovered 203 live cartridges that he had not used. The unexpended ammunition included 2 loaded 9mm magazines with 15 cartridges each and many loose bullets. Cho committed suicide by shooting himself in the head, most likely due to the fact that local law enforcement were getting ready to engage him inside of Norris Hall. He most likely would have murdered more people due to the amount of ammunition that was found on him after he committed suicide. Effect on the institution at the time. The effect on the institution was devastating. With this mass loss of life, all eyes of the nation were focused on what they could have done differently at Virginia Tech, and there was much criticism. A report was released months after the fateful date, and they found errors in the way Virginia Tech handled the situation. This report was titled "The Mass Shootings at Virginia Tech Report of the Review Panel." An issue they found was that the university and officials misunderstood federal privacy laws relating to the mental health of Cho, and they missed numerous indications of his mental health problems. A judge had ordered him to receive outpatient mental health care for making suicidal statements. Cho did schedule an appointment at the campus counseling center, but was given only a pre-appointment interview, and no follow-up appointment occurred. The report concluded that a campus-wide lockdown after the first shootings, the double homicide, would have been impractical and probably ineffective in stopping the gunman. Many people did raise the question of whether the university should have been locked down, but consulting numerous police chiefs, they all determined that a campus of 35,000 people was not feasible to lock down in this scenario. Also, closing a university in an emergency situation presents another problem, and that is traffic congestion. In the incident they previously had on campus with the escaped convict, it took over an hour and a half for traffic to clear, despite them trying to stage the evacuation. They could have also sent a message to all buildings on campus to lock their doors, but at the time there was no efficient way to do this at Virginia Tech. It would have required calls or emails to individuals who had the ability to lock the doors, and we're looking at least 131 buildings that they would have to do this with. Emails could have been used, but it's unknown if they would have been read promptly. Even if the buildings received a message by phone or email, the university had no way of knowing who would receive those and what they would do with that information. Some university campuses, mostly ones in urban settings, have guards at every entrance to their buildings. But at a campus like Virginia Tech, it would take approximately 450 to 500 guards to post one at all entrances to all major buildings on their campus. Current assessment. Numerous lawsuits were filed in reference to the tragedy. One lawsuit was filed by family members of 2 students killed in the shooting. A Montgomery County Circuit Court jury ruled that the university was negligent in waiting to inform the campus about the gunman. The main issue was that administrators waited more than 2 hours after the first 2 students were shot in a dorm room before sending a campus-wide alert, which did not indicate a gunman might still be at large. However, in a 2013 decision overturning the lawsuit, the Virginia Supreme Court said there was no duty for the Commonwealth to warn students about the potential for criminal acts by Cho, the student who killed 32 people. At Virginia Tech, admission applications still pour in, and few students say Virginia Tech's history as the site of a tragedy had any influence on their college choice. The incident at Virginia Tech prompted many schools nationwide to install state-of-the-art notification systems that would broadcast warnings to phones, bulletin boards, email accounts, and social media. Virginia Tech, especially, began responding to any campus threat with a barrage of information shared instantly with students and staff. Students on the campus of Virginia Tech feel a strong sense of community, which sometimes is a result of a tragedy. So this can be a positive outcome. The massacre at Virginia Tech had a profound impact on the university and the community of Blacksburg. While praise would be given to certain aspects of the responses, there was a great deal of criticism directed toward the university. Positive changes have occurred because of this massacre, not just for Virginia Tech, but for almost all higher education institutions. The response has been studied, and institutions have hopefully learned from what was done right and what was done wrong at Virginia Tech. As already stated, the memory of this massacre seems to be fading. Here's my reference page, and thank you very much for your time.